Be me, Stephanie, 28, marketing coordinator at Bloom & Company Artisan Creamery. I run the Instagram, write the email campaigns, make sure our aesthetic is on point. We're one of those trendy ice cream places that does weird flavors like honeycomb lavender and brown butter miso. Very Portland, very Instagram friendly, very we source local organic cream. I'd been there about a year and honestly thought I was killing it. Our follower count had doubled since I started, but there was this dynamic at the company that bothered me. The three guys who basically ran operations, Jake, Marcus, and Ryan, had their little club. Jake was the production lead, been there 5 years, knew every recipe by heart. Marcus handled logistics and supply chain, super organized, always on calls with vendors. Ryan was the flavor development guy, the creative one who came up with all our viral flavors. And they were fine, professional. But they had this thing where they were clearly closer to each other than anyone else. It was a Friday afternoon in March. I was at my desk finishing up an Instagram post for our new spring flavor launch. The light was perfect. The shot was gorgeous. I was feeling good. That's when I overheard Ryan talking to Jake by the production schedule board. "Canyon Grill at 7?" Ryan said. "Yeah, I told Marcus 6:30, but you know he's always early." Jake laughed. I looked up. They were planning something. "Cool, see you there," Ryan said, then walked past my desk. "Have a good weekend, Steph." "You too," I said automatically. They all left around 5:30. Casual goodbyes, same as always. I didn't think much of it. That night, I was on my couch scrolling Instagram because that's literally part of my job, staying on top of visual trends, when I saw a story from Ryan's girlfriend. She'd tagged the location, Canyon Grill. I tapped it. There they were. Jake, Marcus, Ryan, and like 4 other guys from our warehouse team. Beers, wings, one of those high-top tables. Everyone laughing. It was Jake's birthday dinner. My stomach did this weird drop thing. I screenshotted it and sent it to Tara, who worked in our admin/HR department. We'd gotten close over lunch breaks, both of us in our late 20s, both feeling like we were trying to prove ourselves in different ways. Did you know about this?" I texted. 3 dots, immediately. "OMG, no WTF, that's so shitty." I went back to Instagram. Jake's girlfriend had posted a birthday story earlier in the week. I'd liked it without really thinking about it, but I hadn't been invited to anything. I started looking through their profiles. Marcus had posted a story from the bar. Ryan's girlfriend had posted a boomerang of the beer tower. I stayed up until like 2 a.m., just thinking about it, building this narrative in my head. They didn't see me as part of the real team. I was just the Instagram girl, the one who made things look pretty, but wasn't actually doing anything important. That's what this was. That's what the exclusion meant. By Monday morning, I'd convinced myself I was right. I came into the office with this tightness in my chest. Ryan walked past my desk around 9. "Hey Steph, good weekend?" I gave him this tight smile without looking up from my screen. "Yeah, fine." He paused for a second, like he was confused, then kept walking. I opened my notes app and created a new entry. Documentation. First item, March 15th, excluded from Jake's birthday dinner with team. Lunchtime, I grabbed Tara and we went to the break room. She already knew I was upset. I'd texted her half the night. "It's just so typical," she said, stirring her coffee. "You're literally the only woman they work with directly, and they don't even think to include you." "Right? Like I'm just the Instagram girl to them. I'm not actually part of the team. "You should document this," Tara said. "Like, actually keep track. Patterns of exclusion." I showed her my notes app. She nodded approvingly. We started adding more things. Jake had said, "Hey guys," in last week's team meeting, even though I was sitting right there. Marcus hadn't responded to my Slack message for 2 hours one day. Ryan had talked over me when I suggested we do a collaboration flavor with a local bakery. By the end of lunch, I had like 8 items on my list. Tara and I were both worked up, validating each other's frustration. It felt good to be seen. The rest of that week, I started watching them differently. Marcus walked past my desk without saying hi one morning. He was on his phone with the vendor, clearly stressed about something, but I added it to my list anyway. Jake politely declined my seasonal flavor suggestion in a production meeting, said we were locked into the spring lineup. I took it personally. Ryan made some inside, joked during a facility walkthrough that I wasn't in on. I felt patronized. The guys had no idea. They were just doing their jobs, being friendly, probably not thinking about me at all, which somehow made it worse. Friday night, I was doom scrolling LinkedIn. All these women posting about workplace sexism, about navigating male-dominated industries. I drafted like 3 different posts about finding your seat at the table, and deleted them all. Finally posted something vague. Reminder that inclusion isn't just a buzzword, it's about making sure everyone has a seat at the table, got 50-something likes within an hour. Comments from people I barely knew. Yes, Queen. Keep fighting the good fight. We see you. I felt validated, emboldened. I started Googling things like workplace exclusion and creating equitable teams. That's when I remembered. Our company was doing the Taste of the Region Food and Beverage Expo in 6 weeks. It was huge for us. A chance to get in front of major buyers, maybe land a contract with Whole Foods Regional. Jake and Marcus had led it the last 2 years. I got an idea. Monday morning, I requested a meeting with Derek, our owner. He was this guy in his mid-40s, started the company 8 years ago with his wife. Nice enough, but he'd gone to some DEI seminar last year and now dropped words like equity and psychological safety constantly. I knew I could work with that. I came prepared. I'd printed out articles about women in food industry leadership. I had my notes app ready. I love working here, I started, sitting across from his desk. The brand is amazing. I'm really proud of our Instagram growth. We're up 70% year over year. You've done great work, Derek said, but I've noticed some patterns that concern me. From a culture perspective. He immediately got this uncomfortable look. Oh? I was nervous, but I'd rehearsed this. I'm not saying anyone's being intentionally exclusionary, but there are these unconscious bias patterns, like the informal networks where decisions get made, and I'm not part of them. I brought up the birthday dinner, framed it carefully. It's not that I even wanted to go, it's about what it represents. When the operational team has these bonding moments and the only woman isn't included, it sends a message. Derek was nodding, looking genuinely concerned. I had no idea. That's definitely not the culture we want to foster. I saw my opening. The Taste of the Region Expo is coming up. It's our biggest opportunity this year. What if we used it to showcase our commitment to actual equity? Not just talking about it, but demonstrating it. How do you mean? An all-women leadership team for the expo, with the men in support roles. I let that sit. It's not just optics, it's walking the walk. Derek's eyes lit up. That's actually brilliant. It's actionable. Let me talk to the team. I left his office feeling like I'd just won something. Tuesday afternoon, Derek called an all-hands meeting. Everyone crammed into the conference room. I sat near the back, trying to look casual. So I want to talk about the expo, Derek started. We're going to take a new approach this year. Stephanie's going to lead the effort with an all-women team managing operations. I watched Jake, Marcus, and Ryan exchange glances. Confusion. I want our male team members to step back and take on support roles, Derek continued. This is about equity, about showing what inclusive leadership looks like. Jake spoke up, polite, but clearly trying to understand. Just to clarify, we're still involved in production and logistics planning, right? There's some pretty technical. Derek cut him off. You'll be available for consultation, but Stephanie's team makes the decisions. I have full confidence. Marcus's jaw tightened. He didn't say anything. Ryan looked at Jake like he was trying to communicate telepathically. I'm really excited about this, I added, unable to help myself. It's time we showed what women in this industry can do. The meeting ended. Awkward energy in the room. People filed out quickly. I didn't see the guy's reaction, but Tara told me later she walked past the production area and heard Marcus say something like, "Not our problem anymore." At the time, I took it as proof they were salty about losing control. That night, I posted on LinkedIn, excited to announce I'll be leading our team at the Taste of the Region Expo. So grateful to work for a company that doesn't just talk about women's leadership, they make it happen. Time to show what we're capable of. Women in food. Leadership. 100+ likes. So many comments. Yas, queen! Smash that patriarchy, one of my college friends commented. This is everything. I screenshot it and sent it to Tara. We're really doing this. I recruited her immediately, obviously. Then I grabbed Maya from accounting and Jessica from customer service. Both were sweet, both said yes, even though they seemed uncertain. Maya especially. I've never done events before. We'll figure it out together, I told her. This is about women supporting women. I created a Slack channel, #ExpoQueens. We had 5 weeks. Our first planning meeting was that Monday. The 4 of us in the conference room with laptops and way too much coffee. I had a whole agenda: booth design, product selection, staffing, marketing, logistics. Okay, what flavors are we showcasing? I asked, energized. Jessica looked uncertain. What do we usually bring? None of us actually knew. Awkward pause. Should we ask Jake? Tara suggested. No, I said firmly. We can figure this out. Let's look at what performs best on Instagram. We ended up picking vanilla bean, chocolate, and strawberry. Safe. Classic. I told myself we were being strategic, showing our versatility instead of just the weird stuff. Looking back, I know that was wrong. Our whole brand was the weird creative flavors. But I wasn't thinking clearly. I was thinking about proving a point. What about booth setup? Maya asked. Do we have layouts from previous years? Another pause. Another thing we didn't know. I'll email the vendor, I said. We'll design something better than what they did before. The meeting ended with vague action items. I tried to project confidence, but I had this gnawing feeling we were missing something fundamental. Week 2, I was walking through the production facility with my clipboard, trying to look like I knew what I was doing. Reviewing the flavor list with the production team. That's when Jake walked over. Hey, he said casually. Just FYI, those flavors need at least 48 hours freeze time for the texture to set properly, and the base ratio for vanilla is different than the others, so if you're making big batches, you'll need to... We have it handled, thanks, I cut him off. I'm just saying, the timing matters. If the base separates... Jake, I appreciate the input, but we're good. You don't need to micromanage. He put his hands up. All right, just wanted to make sure you knew. He walked away. Across the room, Marcus had been watching. He and Jake made eye contact. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Jake just shook his head. I felt vindicated. This was exactly what I'd been talking about. Mansplaining. Assuming we couldn't handle basic production. Week 3, I was on the phone with a vendor, increasingly stressed. Wait, so the cups and spoons are separate from the booth rental? The vendor patiently explained things I probably should have known. I took frantic notes. When I hung up, I saw Marcus at his desk across the room, calmly typing emails. For half a second, I considered asking him about vendor management, but my pride wouldn't let me. Week 4, our planning meeting had a different energy. Tension. I was looking at the schedule, Maya said carefully. We need samples ready by 9 a.m. both days. That means everything has to be frozen and transported the night before. Do we have a refrigerated truck? Jessica asked. Silence. Marcus usually handles that, Tara said quietly. We can rent one, I said, defensive. I'll figure it out. Maya tried again. Steph, maybe we should just ask them for help with the technical stuff. They've done this before. That's exactly the attitude that keeps women from advancing, I snapped. We can do this. We just need to trust ourselves. Maya went quiet. She and Jessica exchanged a look. The mood was tense for the rest of the meeting. I spent that night at my kitchen table, laptop open, papers everywhere. It was almost midnight. I was going through the expo checklist, realizing how many things I didn't actually know how to execute. I opened Slack, hovered over Marcus's name, typed, "Hey, quick question about vendor." Deleted it. Opened Jake's contact. Same thing. Deleted. I couldn't ask. Asking meant admitting I was wrong, admitting they were right to doubt me. I texted Tara instead. "We got this right?" "Of course. It's going to be great." I didn't feel reassured. I barely slept. The Friday before the expo, we did a test batch in production. First time most of my team had actually been in the facility beyond quick walkthroughs. We were making the vanilla. Jake happened to walk by as it came out of the freezer. He glanced at it, kept walking. Jessica scooped some. Is it supposed to be this icy?" The texture was completely wrong. Grainy. It hadn't frozen properly. The base had separated. Exactly what Jake had warned me about. I stared at it, panic rising. "Can we fix it?" Tara asked. "We'll remake." "It," I said, forcing confidence. "We have time." "The expo is in 2 days," Maya said quietly. "It'll be fine. We just need to adjust the ratios." But I had no idea what ratios to adjust. Through the window, I could see Jake in his office, on the phone, laughing at something. I hated that I needed his expertise. I hated that I'd dismissed his help, but I still wouldn't ask. That night, I sent a message to #ExpoQueens. "Tomorrow's our day to shine. Let's show them what we're made of. See you at 6 a.m. for setup." Tara and Jessica sent back enthusiastic emojis. Maya just did a thumbs up. I stared at my phone. Didn't feel as confident as I sounded. Expo day arrived. We got to the convention center at 6 a.m. The rental truck with our supplies was there, but immediately things went wrong. The freezer units we'd ordered were the wrong size for our booth space. I was on the phone with the rental company. They couldn't send replacements until afternoon. Maya and Jessica were unloading tubs of ice cream, realizing they were already starting to soften in the morning heat. "Where's the signage?" Tara asked. "We found it in the truck. Wrong design. Old branding from 2 years ago." My hands were shaking. Okay, we'll make it work. Let's just get set up." By 9 a.m., when the expo opened, our booth looked rough. Signage was outdated. Freezers were poorly positioned. Everything felt cramped and unprofessional. The booths around us, other artisan food brands, looked polished and put together. We had our 3 flavors out: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. A buyer stopped by mid-morning. Woman in her 40s, clipboard, professional. "Bloom & Company," she said. "I love your honeycomb lavender flavor." "Thank you," I said, hopeful. "We have some classics today." She looked at our samples. "Oh, you're not showcasing your signature line?" "We wanted to show versatility." "Got it. I'll swing by later." She was already walking away, heading to the competitor booth where I could see creative flavors on display. Maple bourbon, blackberry thyme, things that actually represented what artisan ice cream should be. By 11, Jessica was panicked. "Steph, we're almost out of vanilla." "Already? We just opened." We hadn't brought enough backup product. Basic planning failure. As the booth got busier, we started running out. Having to tell people, "Sorry, we're restocking." It looked terrible. "Should I call the facility?" Maya asked. "And tell them what? That we didn't bring enough?" I snapped. "Just make the samples smaller." That's when I saw them. Jake, Marcus, and Ryan across the expo floor. They were there, technically to support, but really just watching. Ryan was eating a sample from the competitor's booth. Marcus had a coffee, arms crossed, observing. Jake was chatting with a vendor. They weren't helping, weren't interfering. just present. I saw them, and my blood boiled. Are they seriously just standing around? Tara muttered. Ignore them, I said. Focus on our booth. But I was rattled. By 4 p.m., Maya was near tears. The stress, the chaos, the visible failure. It was too much. We should just ask them for help, she said. This is insane. We are not asking them, I said. That's exactly what they want. Or maybe they know what they're doing and we're in over our heads. We're fine. Day one is always rough. But we weren't fine. The team was cracking. I sat in my car alone after we closed the booth. Didn't get a single meaningful buyer conversation. Saw other vendors closing deals, exchanging business cards, having success. My phone buzzed. Email from Derek. How'd day one go? Sending good vibes for tomorrow. I typed 3 different responses and deleted them all. Finally sent. Great energy today. Day 2 is going to be even better. I put my head on the steering wheel. Let myself feel the panic for exactly 30 seconds. Then pushed it down. Day 2 started worse. The ice cream we'd prepped overnight had the same texture problem. Icy. Wrong. Exactly what Jake had warned about. Steph, we can't serve this, Jessica said. We have to. It's all we have. We put it out anyway. At 10 a.m., the Whole Foods regional buyer approached. Guy in his 50s. The single most important person at this entire expo. He tried a sample of our chocolate. His face told me everything. Is Jake Morrison here? He asked. I usually work with him on product selection. My stomach dropped. He's not leading this event. I am. Oh, pause. Well, I'll be honest. This isn't the quality I'm used to from you guys. Texture's off. He handed the sample cup back, walked away. I stood there frozen. Tara had seen the whole thing. Neither of us knew what to say. By noon, we were out of product, completely. The booth was essentially closed while other vendors around us were thriving, busy, successful. We were just standing there, humiliated. Across the expo floor, Marcus was leaning against a pillar, watching. Not smiling, not gloating, just watching. Ryan was on his phone. Jake was talking to the Whole Foods buyer. Friendly conversation. The buyer was laughing. I realized they weren't going to save me. This was going to fail, and they were going to let it. We packed up early. Maya was openly crying. Jessica was silent. Tara tried to say, it wasn't that bad, but I told her to stop. Derek's car pulled into the parking lot. He was coming to check on things. I wanted to disappear. Monday morning. Derek's office. Me, Tara, Maya, Jessica. The feedback from buyers wasn't what we hoped, Derek said carefully. The Whole Foods rep said the product quality was inconsistent, that we didn't showcase our brand identity. They went with Mountain Peak Creamery. Silence. Can someone help me understand what happened? Maya and Jessica looked at each other, said nothing. Tara tried. I think we needed more prep time. We didn't get the support we needed. I interrupted. Derek looked confused. Support from who? Jake, Marcus, Ryan. Every time we needed operational help, they shut us out. It felt like sabotage. That's a serious accusation. I doubled down. Jake specifically told me incorrect information about production timing. The ratios were wrong, and he knew it. I was rewriting history. I knew it, even as I said it. Let me talk to them, Derek said. 30 minutes later, the guys came in. I wasn't in the room, but Tara told me what happened later. Derek asked them about not providing support. We provided exactly the support we were asked for, Jake said calmly. When Derek mentioned the production information, Jake pulled out his phone. I can show you the Slack thread where I offered to walk her through the base ratios. She said, we have it handled. He showed Derek the messages. Marcus pulled up emails. Here's the vendor thread where Stephanie was CCED on freezer specs. She approved the wrong size. Here's where I flagged that product volume estimates were low. She responded, thanks, I'll handle it. Jake. I tried to warn her about freeze timing. She called it micromanaging. Marcus showed one more message. Text from Maya the night before the expo. Should we ask Marcus about refrigerated transport? My response? No. We're doing this ourselves. Derek asked why they didn't step in anyway. Long pause. Marcus, finally. You told us to step back and let women lead. We stepped back. They led. That was it. That was all he said. I heard about that line from Tara. I wasn't even in the room, but when she told me, I felt my face burn. 2 weeks later, everything was different. Jake, Marcus, and Ryan were back to their normal roles. I'd see them in the production facility, working smoothly, prepping for a smaller local event. Derek walked in one morning and apologized to them, said he'd handled the expo poorly, that he'd let optics override operations. He told them corporate had approved merit bonuses for holding things together. I watched from across the office. They seemed unfazed. Ryan made some joke about holding things together by literally doing nothing. They laughed. I'd been reassigned, smaller desk in the corner. My responsibilities now, basic social media scheduling. No strategic decisions, just posting what other people created. I was making an Instagram post for the fall lineup. Had to use a photo Jake took. Had to tag him as photographer. I posted it and put my phone face down. Tara walked by. Hey, I said. Neither of us knew what else to say. She kept walking. I opened my laptop, saw the Expo Queen's Slack channel. It had been archived. The guy's laughter echoed from production. I didn't look up. I told myself I'd been right about the exclusion, about the boys' club, about everything. That the failure was everyone's fault but mine. But sitting there at my smaller desk, listening to them work, I knew the truth. I'd wanted to prove they didn't deserve their positions. Instead, I'd proven exactly why they had them.